right now in Midtown Manhattan towards the Israeli consulate. That is just blocks from the Newsmax studio where this is happening. The group, you can see, they're holding signs, screaming, blocking people in cars, causing all kinds of traffic problems. There are also some reports of screaming anti-Semitic statements as well. All of this, similar scenes, though, Bob, have happened in other large cities across the country, also on social media, as the past 2 weeks, the Israel-Gaza situation has continued to unfold with rockets going back and forth.
Yeah, and in fact, today, President Biden was stopped on the tarmac, I believe it was, Rashida Tlaib talking to him, the Congresswoman, complaining about what was going on in the Middle East right now, complaining against the Israelis. And so we're seeing, we've seen some of these members of the so-called squad in Congress taking issue with what Israel is doing, whereas traditionally our country has been very strongly in support of Israel, which was created by the United Nations after World War II and the Holocaust, and that there have been opportunities to create a second state that Arafat, for instance, walked away from in the late 90s. So this issue has been going on a very long time. But what's interesting is that it seems as though not as vocal a support, and I'll bring the panel in, Jennifer, not as vocal a support from the president as traditionally presidents have given Israel in the past. And I'm kind of curious what you think of that.
Well, I think that he's lacking in any sort of foreign policy and diplomacy. And for someone who's been in elected office for over 40 years, I think it's pretty appalling that he's not out there saying more about one of our closest allies. And I don't know what he's doing. I think he's so wrapped up in what the CDC said before the White House got to say it, and that he's unable to deal with any of these crises.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that this narrative that Hamas is protecting Palestinians instead of putting Palestinians in harm's way and using them as human shields is also being missed and not talked about.
Including kids.
Right, yes. And, you know, Hamas firing the rockets at Israel and funded by Iran, John, that narrative not being picked up by social media influencers or people who are out and protesting on the streets.
Yes, this is not parity. Hamas is a terrorist organization, well recognized to be so. Their aim is to push Israel, the Jews, into the sea. That's clear. Israel, on the other hand, wants to live together with the Palestinians in peace. So they have totally different goals. And they defend themselves, of course, with the Iron Dome and all of those things. I've seen that up close. But they only attack Hamas when they've been attacked. And as far as the Democrat Party, Democrats and Republicans used to be together on supporting Israel. Today, Republicans support Israel 100%. The Democratic Party has now divided. There are many people in the party, unfortunately, who actually support what Hamas is doing. So things are changing about this a lot. But fortunately, Israel is very strong. They're our strongest ally in the Middle East, and they will remain so.
Bob, John just mentioned the Iron Dome. Bob and I were sitting here earlier and we were speaking with our reporter, Sarah Coates. And Sarah showed us firsthand how that Iron Dome works. Where she was standing, they came under fire and some alarms sounded and they had to head into protection. Watch this. I think we have that, if we can bring that up for people.
From the eyes of Hamas. Now, we were down here yesterday and they were using these. Here we go. We're going to take you inside the shelter now. You can hear those sirens ringing out. All right, let's go. Let's go. Oi! All right, we're getting in. Okay. Guys, we're taking you inside the shelter. Tiny little portable shelter in here. All right, I'm going to stay with you. We can't leave just yet to show you what's going on outside. But you can see just how quickly you've got to get inside this shelter. You have just a matter of seconds when these sirens ring out to get inside here. This is one of these little portable shelters that they need all around these southern communities to keep these people safe. Even, wow, You hear that boom?
Yeah. So this actually, I just put 2 and 2 together there because, Bob, we were talking earlier as to whether or not they could go underground there. Doesn't sound like
Doesn't
it.
look
That
like
a
it.
portable shelter that doesn't look like that would protect much.
It didn't look like it. Julio, your take on what's going on here?
You know, it's ridiculous that Israel only, if you look at the aggregate acreage of land in the Middle East, it's such a tiny sliver. And, you know, the Arab world, for the most part, can't allow Israel to just have their little bit of land. I think it's steeped in hatred. I think it's steeped in anti-Semitism. And to speak on the point that was previously brought up, the Democrats have splintered on this issue. Listen, we're coming up on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 this year, and we literally have terrorist sympathizers, I believe, people like, you know, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, literally in the United States Congress now. It's a sad state of affairs. We have to stand with our powerful and one of our strongest allies, Israel, on these matters.
Yeah, and a day in and day out reality for folks living over there. And I just can't imagine, Bob, the other reporter that we had earlier in the show talking about she and her children having to run to these shelters and just having 1 minute to do so.
Yeah, and it's like John's saying, this is not parity. For one thing, the Jews were given Israel after the Holocaust and after World War II by the United Nations, okay? Yeah. And we know those folks that lived there continued to claim them, but there were two-state solutions offered that were passed up on. And now the Arab states have kind of moved on to the point where with the Trump administration, you even had these Arab states starting to do business with Israel, recognizing them, okay? Yeah. That's one of the key elements of that, is recognizing Israel's right to exist.
Right.
Hamas is not doing that, and they are firing indiscriminately toward the average person. When Israel is shooting toward those in the Gaza that are Palestinians, it is very targeted. They're trying to take out leaders of Hamas, their communications, that sort of thing. And John, it looks like you want to say something, so I'll let you.
Well, no, I think you're doing fabulously well. You're right on top of this. Israel has a right to exist. The United Nations many years ago has approved this. And the other thing is what's changed under the Trump administration is the recognition that these Arab states are actually afraid of Iran and its malign activities. And so they've become to draw closer to Israel and the U.S. So we had 4 Arab states under Donald Trump who normalized relations with Israel, and I think we would see more if Trump was still president.
John, can I ask you about that? Because I was discussing this with someone earlier. The reaction to the mainstream media that are now discounting any peace efforts made by the Trump administration, including the Abraham Accords, saying that they're meaningless, and look at what's transpiring in Israel right now.
Well, nothing further could be from the truth. What's actually happened here is Iran now is getting cash again. Why? Because of the Biden administration. Trump had shut that off. So now they have cash coming in. So Iran is now exporting missiles, and these missiles are more potent than what they had before. And so Hamas is now lobbing those missiles and rockets into Israel. That's what's changed here. And so if we had Trump in the White House today, this would not be occurring.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.